Hi friends, welcome to Aisha's DIY. Today we will create a necklace with the Bargain Bead box subscription for the month of November 2021, and we already made couple of a bracelet, a necklace, and a pretty pendant, like sweater pendant kind of thing. This one is the leftover beads that I have here. I have some of these as well, these crystals and stuff like that. So I have some of these, but I am just keeping my mind open to the design. I have a design in mind that came on the internet couple of weeks ago or month ago. I'm not so sure. So I want to put a twist to that uh, pattern as such. So that involved two rings as well, and I am also doing a two ring one, but a slight difference. So I'm going to make an asymmetrical necklace, and it's going to be probably double strand. I don't want to be restricted by single strand. We have some roundels, we have some gemstones. These are 6 millimeter, I believe, and these roundels are 6 by 8, I guess. And these beads, these are like African trade beads, but I'm not so sure what exactly they are. And then we have these cute bicones in the green color. So we have red, green, and this translucent color, not necessarily the snowflake color, but all the Christmas colors. You can see this one as well, right? So what I'm thinking of is a stringing project. But for the singing project, I'm going to create a focal first. I'm going to create a focal with this ring. These rings are from my stash. These are, I think these are called quick links or something like that. It's like a closed jump ring, but bigger one. So I have only one of the leaf left over after I used everything for my other pendant necklace that has already been uploaded in my video. So I want to create a dangle with these. Okay, and I want to create some dangles with all these beads actually, to think about it. So these ones, the green, the brown. So I want to utilize all these things. Maybe not this one. This one is a little bit bigger, but I want to use the rest. I'm not so sure about these ones. Are humongous. I really love them, but I don't know for this design. If it is a two strand, it might become a little bit bulkier. So I'm just going to go ahead with it. And also for my stash, I took this antique gold. I don't know if the color is proper or not in the camera, but it is antique gold 11 seed beads that I'm going to use. And we need bead stringing wire. I'm going to use a 19 strand bead stringing wire in the gold color. This is what I'm going to use. It's bead along in gold color. This is what means you can use a 7 strand, 49 strand, whichever you have available. And it's 0.18 inch in thickness. And I'm not going to actually cut my wire. I'm just going to use it with this spool, and then I will cut it once I reach the point wherein I have to cut it. So first, that is bead stringing wire, and we need crimp tubes or crimp beads. I'm having this one for my project as well, so that is there, but we shall focus on the center part of this. And we can do this with a needle and a thread. We can do this with wire per se. So I'm still thinking, contemplating, because whenever you are doing a tassel, if you do with a thread and a needle, the flow of it is very nice. So I think I'm going to use the thread and the needle for this. Since we don't need a lot, I just had some leftover thread from my project. It's about, say, 1 foot in length, and then I have a needle. This is size 10 beading needle. It is Wildfire 0.006, about a foot or so. And then I'm going to pick up 11 seed beads. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 seed beads. Okay, you can do 13 or 11 or whichever you want. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the tail thread inside this ring. Bring all the seed beads down. Okay, and basically tie a knot, just an overhand knot. I did about 2 knots. We'll just do one surgeon's knot, which is right over left and going through the circle that we formed once and then twice. That's a surgeon's knot, and then just tighten it, and that's it. Let's leave it there. We shall take care of the tail later. Now we have this much beads in the ring. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the center first. So I'm going to pick up green one. I'm just going to lay this over like this. And probably we need some spacers or some metallic seed beads or something like that in gold color, just to complement, so antique gold, just to complement those. So I pulled out some spacer beads from my stash, which is in antique gold, and then I'm gonna come back, put this I will start with the bicone, with this champagne color bicone, and 11 seed bead, and the green crystal, then again 11 seed bead. I think you need 2 11 seed beads, because I'm going to put this roundel, which is just going to sit on top of this, but I don't want just thread showing here, right? And then a roundel, sorry, there we go, and see if it actually sits or that is showing. So I'm just going to go past. We don't need 2 seed beads, we just need only 1 seed bead. That's more than enough. So this, and check how it looks. This is how it looks. If you like the look of it, you can continue with it, but I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off again. So I'm going to add the roundel and then the spacer bead. Okay. And then probably this bead right here, and see if it looks good. It actually looks good just like that, right? But if I want to add this, that's going to be a separate tangle, right? Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a seed bead, and then I'm going to go back through all of the beads that I added. just reinforcing that. And hold it like this and pull the thread. That way it becomes tighter, and I think it looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of the 12 beads that I added here, the 11 beads, seed beads. Go couple of beads at a time. Don't try to go through everything. It will be a little bit difficult. And come back. I shall reinforce this once again because these has pretty big holes and you don't really have to struggle to put your needle through. If you do, just pull it like that, it'll come. So I came back one more time. I will pass through the last seed bead that we added and then go back through everything that we added in the line. Let's see where our needle is coming from here. Okay, now if you want, you can tie one more knot here. And then I'm gonna just trim off this tail right there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go back through the seed beads once again. And put my needle through and do half inch knot. And go back through the next couple of seed beads. Make sure your dangle is not caught in your thread. And then do one more half inch knot. Come down the seed beads. And I also did come down the bicone. That's it. You can snip it off there. So one dangle is pretty much ready. So you can see the short tail. If you have a thread zap or so, you can do that. And I really like the dangle and like the flow of it. It's nice and easy. So I really like that. We have a little bit of tail and this won't be enough for doing the next one. So I'm just removing that thread. And if I have some white or smoke gray, anything is fine at this point of time. Even this gray, this green is good enough. Yeah, instead of white, a darker color would be nice. So I'm just gonna take 1 foot of this and thread my needle through. It's 6-pound fire, 6-pound wildfire in a green color. So flatten your thread, take your needle and thread it through. I shall take a little bit more so that I can finish 2 of them. I don't have to thread again. There we go. So I want this basically here. I don't want it to be, you know, dangling here. So I want it a little bit down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some seed beads, 11 seed beads. You can also use 15 seed beads if you want. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Drop it down to the tail, put the tail through this and come up and tie an overhand knot. You don't need a big tail, and do one more overhand knot and a surgeon's knot. After you do that, so for this long one, I'm gonna take this green, these reds, and then so I wanted it to be lightweight, so I'm gonna start with probably the green, the light green glass bead that we got, 11 seed bead, a bicone crystal, 11 seed bead, and a crystal roundel. Okay, 11 seed bead. Drop everything down and check the length of it. So that's where it stays, right? So repeat it now. Another bicone, 11 another green bead, and 11 drop everything down. It's all the way here, so it needs to come here. That's perfect. So what I'm gonna do here is maybe I should put a green here, which I don't want to. Okay, pick a couple of 11 like 3 more and or 4 more. Go through this acrylic leaf. Okay, and check the bead is not going through, so you don't need this many, probably if you are doing a mix of this color also, You can just put a daisy spacer on top of this. It will look really nice. What I'm trying to say is take a daisy spacer and then put this acrylic bead and then a daisy spacer and then 3 11 seed beads. Drop it down, and when it goes like this, it will be like this. Okay, I'm not using the rose gold, so I am not going to use the daisy spacer. We can do mixed metal, but I just choose not to do it in this. So just the acrylic leaf and 3 more 11's. Go through the green bead, the green glass bead, skip all of them, go through the green and then back through all of them. Just like so. I like it. So now back through the rest and through this 12 seed beads as well. Now if you pull it, everything will come into place. This tail got wrapped there. Let's just free that one right here. See this tangle? Kind of like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and reinforce all these 12 beads, 12 seed beads. And back through the dangle. So we have to reinforce. I don't feel comfortable just going through once, so I would like to reinforce at least twice that angle. So you can do it as many times as you want, as you feel comfortable with. Go through the acrylic bead. This dangle I made it a little bit longer, and with these I didn't use any big bead. If you notice, I used only 3 millimeters and 4 millimeters, except for the leaf as such. The reason behind is, like, I don't want it to be very heavy. I want it to be light. So now the tail thread and the working thread is next to each other, so let's just tie an overhand surgeon's knot. So go through once, and surgeon's knot is nothing but going through twice with the same loop and just tighten it. And now I can actually snip off this tail thread if I want to, or you can thread this back, but I'm gonna just snip it off. If you leave a bigger tail, you can thread, you can put your needle in the tail thread and then weave this back inside. But I'm gonna reinforce once again all through the seed beads. You can also do half inch knots over here, come under the loop, make a loop and just pull the thread, and then go through the next bead right next to it. The knot will hide inside the 11. Come back, and one more time down, if you are using 15 seed beads, use a size 12 beading needle. That will be easier for you to go through multiple times through the 15 O's. Then catch it under the thread, make a half-inch knot, and then go through the bead just before or after the bicone. You can make one more half-inch knot, and then go through the next, come back through. Okay, that's it. Now this is secure. I will go ahead and snip this thread off, and our next dangle is ready. Right, now the last one. I want to do 3. You can do as many dangles as you want. It doesn't have to be just this many dangles. So you can just actually make a full circle of it, like completely cover the ring too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. Use that number of seed beads that you already used for the rest. So then go through the ring and tie the working thread and the tail thread together, leaving a short tail which we will snip it off later, just like how we did for the other dangles. And then a surgeon's knot is bringing the thread through the loop twice, once and twice. Okay, so now I'm ready to add the next dangle. The next dangle shall be, say, I need to use the gemstone bead as well. So I'm gonna take a bicone, a seed bead, the gemstone, a seed bead, then a red bicone, and see if I like it. And then finally a green one. I kind of like it. So after this, we added this bead and then we need one more bead. We can either use this one, but this one is really heavy. I like it, but it is very heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this and probably yes, the roundel crystal. I'm going to see if that is good looking or not. Kind of like it. We can also add a tiger eye if we want, just to spice it up. So if we are using tiger eye, then we can use this seed bead, then the roundel, then the tiger eye. And or we can just finish it off here. I think this looks good. I don't need the tiger eye or the spacer bead, so I'm just gonna take this off. Okay, and also if we want to add this again, we can add it if you want. This is not very heavy also, so we can add it or we can end it like this. It's just totally up to us. Still contemplating myself what I can do. Let's just leave it there. Go back through all of these beads. Maybe bring this bead here, down here, so that there is a darker color. Okay, there we go. The red, and then the green, then a seed bead, then a roundel seed bead, and this one right here, and see if it looks good. Yeah, I think this one looks good because the color is darker and I like it. That's okay if this one is smaller. I'm okay with it. So take this 11 seed bead and skip the 11 seed bead. Go through all of them towards the top. Go through all the beads just that we added just right here. If you pull this, everything will come into place, and I really like this. Now what I do is I just go through the 12 seed beads first. And reinforce it 2 times, and I will tie it and come back. Hi friends, welcome back. So we finished the front tassel part, and then I started stringing the beads on this 19 strand bead stringing beaded on wire, and I followed a pattern. So I didn't add this bead, but I'm still contemplating whether to add it now or not. But makes it little bit heavy, the necklace. As such, these are not small beads anyways. So I followed a pattern. I had 4 of these beads for the necklace because I used 1 in the pendant and I am saving 2 for the earrings. So I have 4 of this, and we are going to make 2 strands of it, approximately 24 inches in length. So I followed a pattern. It totally depends upon you, but whatever came in the box is what I added to this necklace. I wanted it to be really long, so that's why I chose this to add a seed bead in between, and then all all these beads. So let me show you guys what I did first. So over here and here, so in the start it's same, it's asymmetrical design, by the way. So in the start it's same for a small length of it, so at least this part until here, the 6 millimeter gemstone, the pattern is the same. Let me just zoom in a bit more so that you guys can see much more better. A bicone, a roundel, the glass crystal, then the 6 millimeter gemstone matte, and then the 6 by 8 millimeter roundel crystal, and then the English cut bead, green bead, then the roundel, and then the 6 millimeter. And from here on, there is a pattern. See, I went by section, so having the green first, the red next, the bicone then, and then in the middle I added this bead. This is this side and this side, and then I will continue there. Then after this portion is done, then after the seed bead I added a gemstone. That's one. And then I consider this to be another portion, the same variety of beads, the 3 beads that I followed the pattern completely. So the green, red, and the champagne color, and then one green, red, then continued like this, then added this, and then again a section. In this section in the middle I put, instead of this bead I put a roundel, and then I consider this to be another portion. In this I put the gemstone in the middle, and this to be another portion. So you get the idea, right? Whichever pattern you want to follow. I just followed a pattern, but still it is asymmetrical because on this bead I didn't add the same in the same space as here. So this bead right here, this is towards the beginning, and in this side I added couple of them, and then I finished it off. And the green bead also, I just changed from the gemstone to the crystal, gemstone to the crystal, gemstone, and then I added the green English cut because we don't have that much of the English cut, so I included all of that. Basically you follow a pattern whichever you like and include all the beads that you have in this box. That's all I did. Now I am done. It's about say 24 inches, and now I am ready to string the next strand of the beads. So either I can finish it off completely and then do the next, but I wanted to just string on, so I just put a big bead just to differentiate what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to string on the next one, the next strand. So this is what I followed. You can add more seed beads if you want to, it will definitely look much better, but this is the pattern I'm following. In the next strand, maybe I add 2 beads in between, 2 11 seed beads in between. So it's totally up to you. Excuse me. And then this bead I didn't add because it's a little bit heavy in my opinion for a double strand one. Okay, I'll thread more and then come back. Hi friends, welcome back. I created a small connection between these two rings. You can do the same that how we did the tassel. You can do the connection with thread and needle, but I chose to do with wire. Let me tell you guys, just to explain another way of doing this thing. I did the tassel with needle and thread because the flow of it I wanted to be smooth, but here I just want a connection, and I'm gonna do 2 connections. I did one already to check if it really works, and it does, and I'm fine with how it looks. If you guys want the similar look like this, then go for the thread and the needle work. And for this, take approximately like 4 to 5 inches of 24 gauge wire. You can also use 20 gauge wire. I'm using 24, And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread 12 seed beads into that. The exact amount we did here. You can switch between these. You don't have to do 12. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. 5, yes, 11, 12. Okay. Now what I do is I just bring this wire back together, just like so. Just bend it. Say 3/4 of an inch. Just bend. Doesn't matter how much it is. Not at least this side of the loop. So bring all these seed beads together and then close it right there. Hold it and take your pliers and just twist. Just make a turn or something like that. Straighten this wire and then bring the short wire across and around. So now you have this, but I want this to be just loop and I don't want the wire to show. So I'm just pulling this long end of wire that will make the loop shorter and shorter. Now I have just that. So this is what we want. Now I am going to just flip this a little bit this side and I'm gonna take this ring and put it inside here. Just like that. So now put this back again. Okay. Making sure the loop just has beads and the wire is not showing that much. Now you can take this wire the short tail and then wrap it around this. Once you see there is a gap here, pull this wrong wire, the gap will come down, and make sure that you have consistent wraps. Three wraps is more than enough. Now I am ready to snip off the excess wire right here. I am not going to tuck in the tail or something like that because I don't have to. I'm going to wrap it again on top of these. So now I take the English cut green bead, the 6mm one. I thread it in there. I have this here. Now what I'm ready to thread in more of the seed beads. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I threaded in the 12 seed beads. Now this is what it looks like. So I have to connect these two things together. Okay, there's just one more connection that I'm going to make here, right? Just like that. So I bring this wire into this ring that we have the tassel in and bring it around just like so. Make a U. Just about here or so. There is a little bit of gap, but we can salvage the gap here. Okay, just bring it like this and then twist this. Wrap it around. Once you do a couple of wraps, you can also do some messy wrap, because we are going to anyways do the same here. Then this is the wire. I want you to bring it across this bead, English cut bead, and then go over the top of the loops that we created previously. You can also use your pliers, but I feel that fingers are much more easy, because when I was doing the other one, there was no other thing blocking my fingers, right? Here we do have it. Doesn't matter that many wraps is good enough, because we have already wrapped it. Snip the excess off and then tuck the tail in. This is what you have so far. You can twist it and change it accordingly how you like, and this is how it looks now. So I just want to change this. Because it's wire, it's bendable, and this is how it looks. So I like the look of it, but if you don't want to do with the wire, you can always do with the thread and the needle, how we did the tassel. You can always do it that way. So now our center part is ready for our necklace. So now I have 2 strands threaded already with beads, and I told you guys how I did that. Then first I will use this one. It's about, say, 24 inches. Okay, it's not exactly 24 inches, but it's about 24 inches. So I have this spool here and I have this right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my stopper off. Let me just zoom out a little bit so that you guys can see clearly. So one has to come here, the other one has to come there. So I'm gonna make this come here. Okay, and I'm gonna use my crimp tube. I'm gonna need 4 crimp tubes. You can also use crimp beads, and you can also use crimp covers. That will look nice, because this is going to be in the center and not in the back, so you can always use a crimp cover to make it really pretty. Add a crimp tube, come through the loop here, and then go back through the crimp tube. Just like so. And pull this together. See how the wire is crossed? Make sure you hold it like this so that the wire is not crossed inside, and then hold it there. We need a like really nice movement. Don't go very tight, and then go ahead and crimp it shut. I will go ahead and do it from this side too, making sure everything is crimped. Now we have a short tail. Just go ahead and thread your beads on top of these. You can also snip it, but I would like to thread it if possible. My levanos are not cooperating, so I'm going to snip off after my crystal. And now bring all the beads back here. Take this other end, snip it off. So the other end is going to come to this, the second ring that we have in the necklace. So pick up, this is small, so I'm picking up this crimp tube, go through the second link and come back through it. Go through a bicone. Make sure there is no gap. Nice and tight. And then go ahead and crimp it. Now you can snip it off. We already have a necklace which is asymmetrical and which is really nice and long, and there is no clasp per se, because it's long enough that you can slip it off right on top of your neck head. That's not a problem. But in order to add it a little bit more interest, we are going to add one more strand, right? We have threaded in one more strand, and there is enough beads. I have threaded it, so I feel that there is enough beads. The one thing that you need to be very careful about is you're going to add it here. I'm going to add it here because I really want the asymmetrical effect. So let me just move these beads on the side so that we don't have any confusion on what we are doing. So I need one more crimp tube. This one is very small. Let me just grab those. And I don't want this. Those are micro crimps. So this is what I have, this long necklace, right? This is what I have. And then the other part, I'm going to keep it here, right? So this is going to come here. Look at this, how short it is. It is way too short when I'm putting right around the other one, because we have put it in a U. I threaded it exactly the same, but that's okay. I will just remove this part right here and add one more set of this pattern that I'm following, and then add this, because this end I'm kind of keeping it same, so I just want that effect to go. So I'll be back. So So now I'm ready. I finished the pattern and I'm ready to add the beads. As you can see how it's laying nice and right next to each other. So I'm going to thread a crimp tube. And then I'm going to go through this ring right here. You can either do it from the up or the bottom, doesn't matter. I am just going to come back. Okay. I didn't add a seed bead. The last thing that I added in every strand is a crystal. So I took the seed bead off and then I'll go through the seed bead, the crimp tube. And the glass bead right there. Just need a little bit more of wire to work with here. Okay, there we go. Okay, now push everything back here. Go ahead and crimp it because we don't have to worry here. We have to worry on the other side. My lavenos are not going through these, so I'm just gonna snip it off after the crystal. Okay, now I have secured this side, so push all the beads on the other side towards this end right here, and let's just see. That's nice and big. It'll be fine. Okay, now take this off, add my crimp tube, go through this ring right here, come back, or you can do this way, it's easier. Come back through the crimp tube and the crystal. We have actually seen how to do the crimping technique in so many different videos in my channel. And go through the glass bead. Use your pliers to just kind of, make everything in alignment and see if there is no gap or anything. Then go ahead and crimp it shut, then snip off the excess wire. Our necklace is done. I hope you guys like this long necklace. It's perfect for this winter because you can wear it on top of your sweater. It really looks pretty. And as I said, you can add a crimp cover if you want. And this is how my necklace looks like. It's really big, so what I would do is I would just bring this here just like so to show you guys the real picture. So I really like the outcome of this necklace. I hope you guys do too. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos almost every day. It comes around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.